Hi, this is Mike here at Rafter M Training Stables. I thought I'd come and make this video this morning because, as you know, we're very deep into trail horses and we're very deep into riders, keeping them safe and things like that. One thing that we're seeing here is some people who are having confidence issues that are still riding, but they're putting themselves in position not to help themselves. One of the big things is you go trail riding with a group of horses and everything's fine. And then you decide you want to go ride by yourself. Well, you don't get along. Is it that the horse is not getting along, or is it that you're apprehensive about it? Is it that you're anxious about it? A lot of people I know have went out here and tried to ride by themselves, didn't get far from the barn, and the horse went to acting up a little bit, and the first thing they do is get off of them and lead them back to the barn. Do you know what you just done? You just trained that horse. If you'll act a little bit stupid, I'll get off of you and lead you back to the barn. You can't do that. Don't put yourself in a position to where you're giving your horse ideas to screw with you. You know, if you don't have the confidence to go out here and ride by yourself, for God's sake, don't go. There's not a law that says you have to ride by yourself. This whole thing is about enjoyment of the horse and the camaraderie with people. That and the fellowship. That's why we go on trail rides. Now, my deal's a little bit different because I've got to train these horses. And yes, I do go by myself. Is it dangerous? You bet it's dangerous. It's dangerous for me. I take some of these horses out that have never been in the woods, and I take them out by myself. Why do I do that? Because I have got to market a solid trail horse. And it's dangerous. But here's the problem that everybody's having. I don't care who tells you what. A lot of you are out there riding horses you have no business riding. A lot of you are out here riding horses and it's not the horse, it's you. You shouldn't be on a horse. And I'm going to tell you why. You don't know the very basics, groundwork basics. When I say groundwork, it just looks to me like people's eyes roll back in their head and they go in a trance. I'm telling y'all, if you don't do the fundamentals groundwork on your horses, build the relationship with your horses, and get good at it, and invest the time in yourself, you're never going to get along with your horse. And it is that simple. It's that simple. If your horse don't know the very basics in groundwork, the very basic fundamentals, you've got problems. You've got problems. If you don't know them, your horse is stiffed. He's not giving. He's not paying no attention to you. You do all this on the ground. For God's sake, people, that's what I do here. I'll work one on the ground. I had a filly in here last year, 22 months old. She was huge. I went ahead and thought, well, I'm going to start her. May not ride her, but I'm going to start her. Well, let me tell you something. Don't feel sorry for her, because 2 months later, I was still doing groundwork. Because she wasn't ready to ride. She wasn't mentally, physically, emotionally ready to ride. But I could see that. Had I pushed her, I would have blown her sky high. But instead, I took the time. And the horse has been hauled all over the country. And been trail ridden. And she's fine. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. It seems to me like nobody wants to do the groundwork. Nobody wants to do the work that it takes to have an enjoyable relationship with your horse. When you're doing that groundwork, you are learning feel, timing. Timing and feel is what you're learning. You're learning how much pressure to put on and how much pressure not to, in order to get your horse's feet to move in a way you want them. And you're learning feel to do all this stuff so that your horse understands what you want. You're building a relationship. How many of you out here are married? When you went out with your spouse or whoever it was, did you marry them after the first date? God, no. It may have sucked. But you kept going back, you kept working at it, and then you found out, hey, this here's pretty cool. And it's an ongoing thing. If you're married, it is constant work. You've got to always be working at your marriage in order to have a good one. These horses are no different. You're marrying them. Except these animals can kill you anytime they want to. So I cannot understand why a lot of people are not willing to put in the work, into the groundwork to get to know their horse and all this and that. A lot of people think when I talk about groundwork, well, you're getting one ready, you're breaking one. Yeah, I do all the groundwork before I get on them the first time. Let me tell you something. Y'all seen the video last week when I went off on my rant over the 10-year-old. Had to go back and start all over again. And I got to say it, I'll give you an update on that mare. She's turning into a pretty nice mare. I think the mare wanted to be good, but nobody ever demanded she be good. Does that make any sense? I think she wanted to be a good partner, but nobody ever showed her how to be a good partner. And that's what I'm trying to tell you folks out here. If you're wanting to be a good partner with your horse, you're going to have to show them how to be a good partner. You're going to have to learn how to be a leader in this deal. You've got to be a leader. You've got to relax. Everybody wants their horses relaxed. And yet I see so many people riding horses and their butts drawn up that tight and their whole body is rigid. And yet they're sitting there saying, boy, I wish this horse would relax. Well, hell, he can't relax. Not with you in a ball. You've got to relax in order for him to relax. Does that make any sense to you? That is the whole key. Joy and I have kind of taken upon ourselves. I get on here and I'm preaching safety. I'm preaching safety all the time because we don't want nobody to get hurt. We want as many people involved in trail riding as we can get, and we want them to have fun. We want them to enjoy it. But now, folks, if you're wanting to do this, it's going to take work on your part. You know, I've been out before and watched deals, horses not acting right, and the rider's not getting along with it, and they'll get off of it and hand it to the trainer, or they'll hand it to their husband. Well, guess what? Their trainer or their husband will get on it and ride it off, and it will not do nothing wrong. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It ain't the horse's problem. It's yours. It's your problem. What are you doing wrong? This goes back to the first video that I put out back in February that somewhat got all this started. When things aren't going right, the number one question you need to ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Stop blaming these horses. Stop blaming your trainer. Stop blaming everything. Start with blaming yourself. Because that's where the whole key of it lies, is within you. Your horse is only going to be as good as you are. Your horse is seeking the level that you're at. And if your level's down here, that's about the level he's going to seek. But if your level's up here, he's going to seek that level too. It's just that simple. There is anything worthwhile is hard. Because if it was easy, my God, everybody'd be doing it, and we'd be out of business. I mean, really, it's hard. It's hard training horses. It's hard maintaining horses. And what's really hard is training people. That's what's really hard. I can get through to a horse 10 times faster than I can a person. Because I take it for granted a person should know better. But a lot of them don't. You know, and the horse, I can sit there and fight with him or do whatever and think, well, he just don't know no better. Just give me a minute here and he'll come around. But it's really hard. You've got to get your head right to do these things. And it is a wonderful pastime, a wonderful sport. And I just said it right there. Don't ever forget, trail riding is a sport. You need to be physically able to do it. You need to be physically able to go trail riding. Sometimes we go on a trail ride and I'll be on a horse that hasn't been out much. And my God, by the time I get back, I am wore plumb out. You'd think I'd been walking most of the time. Instead, I've been sitting here working this horse. You need to get physically fit. You need to get physically fit to do this. You need to stay physically fit so that you're not too heavy and get in your horse's way for him to perform and do what you want. And I'll just tell you, me, I'm fighting my weight every single day. I'm 58 years old. I used to get fat. I just stopped eating for a couple of days and I was right back down. Well, hell far. I'm starving myself to death right now and I'm still not losing no weight. It's a constant battle. But I know I've got to in order to stay out of my horse's way so that what I'm asking them to do, I'm asking them to move perfectly. I'm asking them to do things. Well, I've got to do my part. I've got to stay out of their way while I'm up there. I can't be just hammering on them with my weight coming down on them. I got to get myself in better physical condition. And I'm a trainer. I ride every day. But things happen to us in life. We used to be able to stay thin. We used to not get fat. I used to didn't. I've got a gut on me now. I watch the videos and see pictures of myself and I think, my God, what a fat hog sitting up on that horse. It absolutely makes me sick. But yet I work at it every day. That's just one of the things I'm working on. But I'm telling y'all, the number one thing I'm working on is Mike. That's where it's at. It's Mike. These horses are only going to be as good as Mike is. And your personal horse is only going to be as good as you are. So anyway, if you're having problems, feel free to call me and Joy will be more than happy to talk to you. But number one, I'm going to go back to it. If you're unsure, if you're questioning yourself, address it. Address it because it's not going to get no better. So anyway, I hope to see you on the trail. Y'all have good luck and look forward to talking to you.